Hi there, Emma. My name's Mark. Dragon is working the cameras. So anyways, hopefully this video turns out okay. This is a basic instructional video on how to operate the suction vacuum apparatus for filtering your water samples, your sediment samples. Okay? So instead of giving you written instructions, we're going to basically try to walk you through the process of what you'll have to do at home. Okay? Alright, great. Let's get started. First off, I'll just basically outline what we have for materials that we're sending to you, and then we'll walk you through the process. So, what we have here is we've got a Ziploc bag with some desiccant packs in it. This is going to be used for keeping your filter papers dry once you dry them in the oven, okay, to get rid of any moisture from the filter paper. It's really important that you keep the filter papers dry, and that you record the weights of the dry filter paper, so that you're not taking into account the moisture. We're sending you packages of these P4 filter papers, 7 centimeter diameter, to fit our suction filter funnel, okay, that you're going to be using. These are a medium fine, slow porosity filter. They're really good for getting rid of any fine sediments in your sample, so hopefully it'll pull out all of the sediment that you're looking for, and then just filtering water into your flask. So we'll send you lots of these, probably about 300. If you need more, just let us know. What else do we have? We have, like I said, that's the suction filter funnel. We have basically our suction filter apparatus. So what you have here is your vacuum cylinder. This is where the water is going to be extracted into. We have the tubes to hook it up, and then we have basically this is probably the most important part, which is the actual vacuum suction part that actually connects to your household faucet, to your tap. So this is where it will connect to your tap. This is where the hose for the vacuum cylinder will connect into, and then I'll show you how to hook all that up. First off, we will start with your filter papers. So in terms of the process of what to do here, you're going to want to open up your package of filter papers, and again, you're going to want to take the filter papers out, or however many you need to prepare. For example, in this one, we've actually just prepared, I think, 10 of them. What we've done in advance is we've actually already labeled the filter paper, so this is something that you will have to do. So figure out how many samples you want to suction filter. Okay. Like I said, there's 10 here. You'll want to label them in advance. So just take a marker and just simply write on them, 1 through whatever, or however you want to label them. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. Once you have the filter papers, you're going to want to put them in the oven, low temperature. Okay, so I'm not sure what, I think it's about 60, 70 degrees Celsius, so whatever that equates to in Fahrenheit. But basically just turn your oven on low, and then just let them sit in there like on a drying rack or some type of metal rack, just to dry them for a little while. Might take
15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes possibly, just to make sure they're thoroughly dried. So for example, what we would do over here is we'd actually take them over to the oven. And what we would do is we just simply lay your filter papers out in the oven, all of them, all the ones you're going to be using. These are just some other desiccant packs. Okay, just let them dry for a while. Okay, once they're dry, you'll want to take them out of the oven. Just make sure you keep them in order if you need to. Okay. Then you're going to want to take the filter papers, and like I said, you're going to want to put them in the Ziploc bag with the desiccant packs. Okay? Make sure to seal that, because right now you want to keep the moisture out of the paper. So while the filter paper is cooling down, then we'll basically set up the suction filter device to have it ready. One of the things we have here is basically a bottle of what we've prepared as sort of a water sample with suspended sediment in it. And again, you'll just want to make sure to give that a good shake, especially if the sediment settles. Okay, and as you can see, that's quite a murky sample with sediment in it. How much to collect? Now, we need, for this exercise, you're going to need at least 500 mils. We assume that you're trying to determine the amount of suspended sediment per liter of solution. So, you know, you can collect as much of the water as you want, but, you know, I mean, a liter of water would be good. So the only thing is this flask, this suction filter flask, will only hold 500 mils. So there's a marked line on the cylinder to indicate where the 500 mil mark is. And hopefully in our prepared sample we have 500 mils. So what you're going to want to do is basically now you have to hook this up to your tap. Now according to that email that Dr. Arp showed me, your household faucet is 3/4 inch diameter. So the inside diameter of this tube is 3/4 of an inch. So hopefully this will just fit over the end of your faucet, okay? Which is what we're going for. You've got hose clamps to make sure to secure everything because this has to be tight and sealed. This is the faucet we're using. Hopefully it's going to work because it does have a couple flat sides on it. But in terms of hooking this up, what you're going to want to do is basically just put it over your faucet, and you'll want to secure it. Okay, just make sure it's on there nice and snug. Take your hose clamp and put it on, and then tighten it down. Need a pair of pliers, camera lady. Excuse me. So take a pair of pliers and just secure it to your tap. Nice and snug. Okay, good. So again, this is where we're going to hook it up. So this is our vacuum cylinder. Now we're going to take this hose, which is going to connect. So one end connects to here, okay, which is this sort of tapered end. So we'll stick that in there and just make sure it's securely in. This end was sort of that open part. We'll just connect onto the end of the other fitting here. So that's pretty straightforward. Now, your suction filter funnel, you just place that nice and firmly in the top. It should seal with the rubber stopper. Okay, now this is basically set up, ready to go. Okay, so filter paper. Now again, the first thing you're going to want to do is weigh the filter paper before you do this exercise, okay? Because you need to know the dry weights of the filter paper. So you'll come in here, you'll take out filter paper number 1. And seal the bag up again. Okay, so filter paper number 1 for sample 1. You'll place it, you want to come on over, camera lady? So you're going to place the filter paper in the funnel. Now, one of the things that we have to do here is we have to wet the filter paper to get it to seal against the bottom. So we're sending you a squirt bottle with water, and basically what you want to do is you'll just want to just wet the paper thoroughly, and just make sure that it's sealed against the bottom here and that all the holes are covered, because you don't want sediment to go around. Okay, so that's good. Now we're going to turn on our tap. Now you don't need to turn the water tap on full blast. Just keep an eye on how much water you have flowing through here. You don't need a lot of water passing through here to create the vacuum. So we'll just turn the tap on. Yeah, and what you're looking for here is you'll see the filter paper suck against the bottom, and you'll also hear it start to suck, like the sound, the sucking sound. So okay, so that's good. Give your suspended sediment water a little shaky shake. And while it's doing this, you'll just want to slowly pour it. And if you want to move the camera up top here. Okay, so what we'll see is, okay, it's actually drawing it down now into the flask. And you just want to bring the camera down.
Yeah.
No, here. Okay, you'll see it's sucking the sample through. And this is going to be a lot faster than, you know, just letting this drain by gravity and just having the water flow through the filter paper. So, okay, now we'll bring it back up. Okay, now obviously the sample we've produced has a lot of suspended sediment in it, a lot more than probably what you'll find in your samples, hopefully. And again, what you'll see here now is that the sediment has actually been trapped on the filter paper, which is good. Okay. Anyways, just keep adding more of your sample. And again, what we want to do here is actually filter out 500 mils. So keep an eye on the water in the flask, and once it gets to that 500 mil mark, you'll want to stop. I don't think we necessarily have to go all the way with the 500 mils, but anyway, so yeah, you would just continue doing this until you've got all 500 mils run through the filter paper. And I'm just going to let this finish here, and then we'll extract the filter paper, and then we'll go from there. And normally at this time you'd be drinking your cup of coffee or entertaining your kids and showing the magic of science and all the great work that we do. Okay, so the water's almost finished filtering through here. We probably have about, I don't know, I'd say about 300 mils already filtered through. So I would say that in this bottle, I mean, you've got enough. But again, if you're filtering it, just make sure that you're capturing, you know, as much sediment as you can, okay? Because there's still a lot sitting in the bottom. So, you know, you might want to make sure you have just 500 mils to begin with, and that you capture all of the sediment that's in it. Okay, so assuming that we filtered 500 mils, now we can...
You have to wash it.
Wash it?
Wash the residue on the seeds. Yeah.
Okay, we're washing.
Just in case if something's left on the walls.
Yeah, so we just want to make sure we capture all of it here. Okay. Alright. So what you can do now is actually turn off your vacuum. Now, what we have is we have the sediment captured on the filter paper. So what you have to do now is basically you can extract the funnel if you want to. Okay. Capture any extra drips. Now it's really important now that you capture the filter paper and all of the sediment on it. So just using this rusty pair of tweezers.
Yeah.
Don't have nicer tweezers?
No.
Okay. So we want to just get that filter paper off of here. Okay. And there's actually still, hopefully all the sediment will be on there. Okay, so now you have the filter paper. So now what we have to do is we actually have to dry this in the oven. Okay. So what you want to do is bring this back to the oven. Hopefully you'll have like some type of like metal drying rack to place these on. And now what you want to do is just place it in the oven. Okay, and then probably dry that for half an hour, 40 minutes. Just keep an eye on it, see how long it takes to dry it.
For all soil to be dried.
Okay. And then basically once that filter paper is dried in the oven, then you're going to want to weigh it again on your balance, on your scale. And again, just do the calculations, figure out what the dry weight of the filter paper is with sediment versus the dry weight of the paper by itself. And then figure out what your, and then you can upscale it to per liter, so how many milligrams of sediment per liter of solution that you have. And again, just keep track of your calculations. Just make sure that you have a spreadsheet or some piece of paper with the dry weights of your papers, with and without sediment, and then just do your calculations to scale up to a liter, milligrams per liter, and away you go. Now, right, so now when you go to change samples, obviously, just take this filter funnel out. You can simply just disconnect this assembly here for a second. Maybe you have a better way of doing this. And what we want to do now is just basically empty out the water. So just hold that. Drain the water out. And simply just reconnect. Okay, you don't have to obviously connect the one at the tap. So do that. Reset your funnel. Grab your second filter paper. Out of the bag. Place it in the funnel, seal this back up. Wet it. Make sure it's centered. And then again, you would just reapply, vacuum, have your second sediment sample ready to go. And again, you would have weighed the filter paper already, and then just simply just begin filtering the sample again. Second sample. So, and again, just keep repeating this process for all of the samples that you have. You know, you might want to do 5 at a time or 10 at a time, something like that. I mean, once you get the feel for the procedure, then it's just a matter of stepping through it. And again, it's really important just to keep track of your weights. Your dry weight of your filter paper with and without sediment. As long as you have that information, you're good. Okay? So other than that, hopefully you can understand the video. I don't know what we're probably going to have to edit it, but anyways, we'll go from there. Okay? Thanks, Emma. Way to keep up the good work and your environmental activism. And I hope you collect some good data out of this. All right. And there you go. All the best from the Watershed Center.